Hey, this is Mark Williams with Swine Like Barbecue. Today we're gonna cook up some pork tenderloin sliders. We're gonna make a cranberry jalapeno barbecue sauce to top them. First thing we're gonna do is get them seasoned up, then we'll get them out on the Gateway drum smoker, let it start dripping them coals, working them great flavors. We'll bring them in, we'll build this slider. You know it's gonna be good. Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is get these pork tenderloins trimmed up. It doesn't take much, but they do have some silver skin and stuff like that I wanna get off. They're a great cut of meat. They are super tender. You know they're gonna melt in your mouth. So you can see you have like silver skin right here. We just wanna take that off. Anything you see on these that are gonna be a tough chew, you wanna get that off there. And of course we can expose a little bit more meat, let these flavors start working. These are a pretty lean cut of meat, but they're super tender. We love cooking them on the grill. They take on flavors really well, so you can kind of go from mild to wild with your seasoning. It's a little bit of fat here is not gonna hurt anything. I'm not gonna worry with it too much. Now let's get some seasoning on these, really start working some good flavors, and we'll get them out on the pit. So to season these today, you can use whatever flavors you'd like. We're gonna run our very own grit and grind. It's a great combo with pork. So we're gonna go a little bit, probably a medium coat of grit, get it patted in. This is a good salt, pepper, garlic based rub. Has a couple of citrus notes, has some parsley in there for color, and of course a little bit of flavor. Get them both seasoned up. You want to stick to a good savory rub. When we top it with this cranberry sauce, it's going to be a great combination. We're going to come back with the grind now. This is going to be your sugar. Of course, your standard barbecue flavors. Again, it has that citrus note as well, so it pairs really well with the grit. Roll it around on that cutting board, get any that may have fell off. So we'll let these sit out here on the cutting board, let that rub start doing its job. We'll get out here and get this Gateway drum smoker fired up, and we'll get them on the pit. So to get this Gateway drum smoker fired up, we're gonna fill our charcoal basket up with some Royal Oak lump charcoal. We'll get our starter cubes in place, get some coal over the top of them, and then get them lit. So you can tell we got a good little bed of coals lit. That's just what you want before you get the lid on this drum. Go ahead and get it placed on. We're gonna open our top vent all the way, and then we're gonna check both these bottom vents back to where they're just barely open. That should get us in that 300, 325 range, which is right where we want it. Let it come up to temp, we'll get these pork tenderloins on. So this Gateway's come right up to temp. We're gonna go ahead and get a couple pieces of pecan laid over here on these coals. And I'm gonna get our cooking grate in. And then of course we'll lay these pork tenderloins across here. I'm gonna put them kinda in the center. I want them to drip on them coals and start working that good flavor. We'll get the lid back on. Now we'll check on them about 20 minutes, we'll give them a flip and then get a probe put in them so we can monitor that internal, make sure we don't take these over 140 and they'll be perfect. So to make our jalapeno cranberry barbecue sauce, I'm gonna start with about a teaspoon of olive oil just to keep these jalapenos from not sticking. We got 2 jalapenos diced up. We're gonna let these simmer and kind of saute just for a few minutes and soften up before we add any other ingredient. So these jalapenos are starting to soften up. We got 1 teaspoon of the zest of an orange. Then we got a half a cup of orange juice with the pulp, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of your favorite barbecue sauce. This just happened to be Killer Hogs, the barbecue sauce. It's gonna go really well with these cranberries and everything else. Now I'm still over about a medium to high heat right now. We got a half a cup of water. Now we're gonna let this mixture sit here and go for a few minutes. You wanna get it to a low boil, and then we'll add our cranberries in. So our liquid has started to boil. We're gonna go ahead and add 12 ounces of cranberries and then top it off with a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Now I'm gonna leave this on medium to high heat. We're gonna bring it back to a simmer, allow it to simmer at least 15 minutes. You just kinda wanna keep an eye on it about every few minutes, get out here and give it a good stir. Your cranberries will start popping and you'll see the sauce starting to develop. You just wanna cook it down until you get the consistency you like for a good thick sauce. So it's been about 20 minutes. Let's see how these tenderloins are coming along. So we're gonna go ahead and look at both sides, get them flipped over. I can tell that side of the pit's running a little bit hotter, so I'm gonna move this little one away from that heat, and then we're gonna get a probe in it, go dead center, and then get the lid back on. And check it back just a little bit. So we're sitting at about 120. I'm gonna go in here and get some of that Killer Hogs barbecue sauce, get ready to glaze these, and we'll pull them off at about 135 and let them carry over. So these tenderloins hit about that 125. That'll give us plenty of time to get this glaze on there and let it set. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull them off real quick. I'm gonna sit them in this half pan over here while we do this. That way our fire don't get away from us. All I'm gonna do is pour a little bit of this Killer Hogs barbecue sauce over the top, get it brushed in. Do the same to this little one. Make sure you get all the ends and edges. And then we'll get these pork tenderloins right back on. Put this one off to the side over here. Get this one placed back right there. About another 10 minutes, they'll be done. So let's check on these. I went ahead and took the small one off just because we temped it while we were in there earlier. It hit 135, we get it off, let it rest. This big one's hitting 135 as well, but we're gonna check it with a thermal pin just in case. She's done. So we're gonna go ahead and get the probe out, get this placed over here in the pan. So we're gonna get these in, get a little bit of foil over the top of them, let them rest about 10 or 15 minutes. That'll give us time to finish up this cranberry sauce and we'll be building sliders shortly. So you can tell this sauce has been simmering for about 15 minutes. It's thickened up. All the cranberries are starting to break down. Now's a good time to taste it. See if you need to adjust your sugar level. We just tasted this. It needs a touch more sugar. So we're gonna go ahead and add about 1/4 cup. We'll get this mixed in. Of course, it's gonna thicken up some more. We're gonna let this sauce simmer just a few more minutes, get this sugar good and incorporated, and it'll be ready to build some sliders. We've brought the pork tenderloins in, let them rest for about 10 or 15 minutes. That gave us time to finish our sauce. As a quick recap, we started with 2 pork tenderloins, seasoned with grit and grind, got them out there on that drum smoker. They dripped over the coals, they smelled awesome the whole time they were cooking. We glazed them right at the end with a little bit of Killer Hogs barbecue sauce. During that process, we made our cranberry jalapeno barbecue sauce. They're gonna go great on these sliders. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut up this one. We'll kind of slice it on the bias, and we're gonna do a little bit thicker slice. And I mean, you can tell they're packed full of moisture. Grab this slice right out of the middle. And you can see, I mean, it's just packed full. Perfect cook on that. Let's give it a try just by itself. That right there has a great flavor, and of course that texture is perfect. It's got a really good smoke flavor, that pecan shines through. So let's get a little slider built. We have the Hawaiian roll sliders. It's a good sweet bread. It's gonna complement this pork well as well. We'll go ahead and put 2 on there. We'll get the lid off our cranberry sauce. It's done got good and thick. Take a good heaping spoon of it. It's not your average pork slider right there, but I bet it's fixing to be good. If anything, I know it's gonna be messy. I know I got it all over me. The first thing that stands out is that jalapeno. It complements that cranberry. It really wakes those flavors up. This is an excellent little sandwich, I'm not gonna lie. You get just a hint of that barbecue sauce and that cranberry sauce. It's got a good tang, really wakes those flavors up. And of course, I can't get over the texture of that pork tenderloin. That's a wrap for us today at Swine Life. These little sliders would be great for any of your holiday get-togethers. It's a different flavor, a different take on a pork slider, and you're gonna love it. We appreciate y'all checking this video out. If y'all got any questions, shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram. And as always, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all next time.